Chapter 10, Section 1. This chapter is about integers. A lot of new vocabulary in this chapter. Make sure you watch the first video on Chapter 10 vocabulary before you watch this video. We are going to start on page 685. 685. Helen and Grace started a company called Top Notch. They calculated the company's profit and loss each week. The table shown represents the first 10 weeks of operation. Losses are represented by amounts within parentheses. So that's a loss, 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 loss. They lost money that week. For example, $25 denotes a loss of $25. Amounts that are not in parentheses are profits. Those are money they make. So these are the profit weeks. Number one, in which week did Top Notch show the largest profit? So you're looking for a positive integer. The biggest one is $281, which is week 7. The largest loss. Looking for an integer that's in parentheses, that shows negative. Week 4. Week 4 is the largest loss. Number 2, between which 2 weeks did Top Notch have the largest gain in money? What was this gain? So from this week, from week 1 to week 2, that's a loss because it goes down from 159 all the way down to negative 201. If you look at week 2 to week 3, it starts out at negative 201 and goes all the way up to $231. So that's a possibility. These two. 231 to 456. That's only about 200, so that's not going to work. This is a loss, but they did gain. It's a gain of about $300 here, so that one doesn't work. 156 to 12. It went up 156 to negative 12, but not enough. Negative 12 to 281. No. 281 to 175, that went decreased. This one only goes up a little bit, and this one goes only up. So the weeks from week 2 to week 3. Weeks 2 and 3. Number 3, between which 2 weeks did have the largest loss? What was that loss? So we're looking for numbers that go down. If you go from 159 to 201, that's a pretty big loss. What, $360? Week 2 to week 3, that's a gain. We already know that. 3 to 4, 200 to negative 456. That's about 600. Let's see if we get any more that's bigger than that. Negative 4, that's a gain. Week 5 to 6 is a gain. They lost a little bit here from 281 to 175. So week 3 to week 4 has the largest loss. We can figure this out because it's plus 231. They lost 456. If we add those together, they lost $687. It's not a good week. Number 4, was the difference between the company's best week and its worst week? The best week is week 7. That was $281. Week 4 was the worst week. They lost $456. So it's negative $456. So we're looking for the distance between these two numbers. So we're going to add these together. 456 to 281. That's going to give us $737. That's the difference between those 2 weeks. So number 5, I'm going to let you do. You're going to calculate the total profit or loss for Top Notch and record the answer in the table. Let me get rid of some of this mess. So add up your parentheses and then add up your profits. You're going to subtract the 2 and get your answer right here. Check with your answer in the textbook. All right, next page, problem 3. Most of the numbers you have worked with in school have been numbers that are greater than or equal to 0. However, you have heard about numbers that are less than 0. The weather forecaster predicts the temperature will be below 0. A submarine travels at 3,000 feet below sea level. Badwater Basin in Death Valley, California is 282 feet below sea level. We're going to mark the temperatures on the thermometer. The highest temperature on record in the U.S. is 134 degrees. So we're going to put that on our temperature. There's 130, there's 140. So right about here. I'm going to mark 134. The lowest temperature on record is negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's 0. Negative 80 is all the way down here. That is really cold. Negative 80. The lowest temperature recorded in the contiguous 48 states is negative 70 degrees. It's a little warmer than negative 80. Not much. Sorry, smartboard's not lined up. Cody's fault. And D. The highest winter average temperature in the U.S. is 78 degrees. That's not bad. That's above 0, so up here is 78 degrees. These are all integers, positive and negative whole numbers. Negative numbers are below 0. Positive numbers are above 0. One day in 1918 in North Dakota, the temperature went from negative 33 to 50 degrees. How many degrees did the temperature rise? Negative 33 is over here. It's below negative 30. 50 degrees is right here. So from here to here, that's 33. That's the distance from 0. From 0 to 50 is 50. The temperature rose 83 degrees. Clear this up. Within 24 hours in Montana in 1916, the temperature went from 44 degrees to negative 56. Here's negative 4. Get rid of it. Technical difficulties. And negative 56. It's way down here. So from here to here, that's 44 degrees. From here to here is 56. You add those together, that's a 100-degree difference between the two. C, within 15 minutes on one day in South Dakota, the temperature went from 55 degrees to 8 degrees. Clear this out. Last problem. Here's 55 right here. 8's right here. All we do is 55 minus 8, drop 47 degrees in 15 minutes. That's crazy. Order these temperatures from least to greatest. Here are your negative numbers. Well, not that one. So you have 3 negative numbers. This negative 50 is the farthest from 0. That's the least. Followed by negative 33, negative 5, then we have 0. Now you've got 67, 25, and 125. So 25, 67, and 125. Okay, one more problem. Another way to look at integers is with a regular number line. Here's 0. All numbers less than 0 are negative. All numbers to the right of 0 are positive. Number 1, describe the change in values of the integers as you move to the right on the number line. If you move right on a number line, they increase. Describe the change in the values of the integers as you move to the left. Anytime you move left on a number line, they decrease. You get smaller because you're getting farther from 0. On the bottom of the page, each positive number has a corresponding opposite number that's the same distance away from 0. Similarly, each negative number has a corresponding opposite number that's the same distance away from 0. For example, if you have -5, the opposite of -5 is +5. If you have 15, the opposite would be -15. They are the same distance from 0. I'm jumping ahead, but that's called absolute, can't spell, absolute value, distance from 0. All right, last thing from this section. We are going to look at number 3. We're going to sort these numbers. Remember the definition for an integer: positive and negative whole numbers. Can't be a fraction, can't be a decimal, just positive and negative whole numbers. I'm not sure what I was writing there. Okay, -2.6, that's not an integer. +26, it's positive, so it goes over here. See how that has a positive sign right there? We do not have to write it. You're not wrong if you do, but you do not have to write it. Next value is -26. You have to always write the negative sign. -13 is a negative integer. 5/8 is a fraction. It's not an integer. +228 goes over here. 13 and 25/100ths. It's not an integer. -85 goes here. And 20 is positive. -2/3. It's a fraction. Not an integer. And our next submission for jokes. Why did the shrimp not like to share his treasure? Why did the shrimp not like to share his treasure? Think about it. Because he was a little shellfish. Good job.